what's going on with the appeal of the Emergency Act being invoked illegally. And Larry Brock is grilling the Attorney General here. And Eva Chipik weighs in. She says, must watch questioning of the Justice Minister about the federal government's decision to appeal the Emergency Act federal court decision. Did you find it strange that immediately following the release of the court's decision, Deputy Prime Minister Freeland announced the government's intention to appeal? And so Larry Brock goes through this a little bit. It's 3 minutes. We won't listen to the full 3 minutes. We'll listen to however long makes sense. And here we go.
It's of no surprise to me, and I'm sure many members on this committee, that both ministers doubled down literally on the same talking points that we've heard from this Liberal government throughout the last 2.5 years, but most importantly, after the ruling of Justice Mosley. In my respectful opinion, the federal court ruling provided a massive political humiliation for the Justin Trudeau government. So to you, Minister Virani, were you given a copy of Justice Mosley's decision before it was publicly released at 1:03 p.m.?
I received Justice Mosley's decision when it was a matter of public record.
Thank you. So literally 14 minutes later, Minister Virani, at 1:17, both you and Deputy Prime Minister Freeland issued a release indicating that both of you were planning on appealing. Prior to you making that announcement publicly to Canadians, did you read all 191 pages of Justice Mosley's decision in the span of 14 minutes? Yes or no?
I was assisted by people who were with me, and we jointly reviewed the decision.
And did those people jointly review all 191 pages in 14 minutes?
We made an assessment of the decision, and you've seen the notice of appeal that is a matter of public record. We have tremendous respect for the federal court and for all of the judges therein. Reasonable people can have disagreements about matters of law and mixed matters of law and fact.
Thank you. How long does it take the Justice Department, how long does it normally take the Justice Department to publicly state whether they are going to appeal a court judgment?
I'm not aware of any sort of average in that regard, Mr. Brock. What I would say to you is that it's entirely context specific. It's case-by-case determination.
In my 2.5 years as a parliamentarian, Justice Virani, I have witnessed your government opining on several Supreme Court of Canada rulings and various provincial Court of Appeal rulings, and the talking point has always been we need to review the decision, we need to measure a response, and we will decide in due course whether or not we will launch an appeal. But in this particular case, you clearly didn't read all 191 pages, but it was important to you because you were politically humiliated. The entire government was humiliated, particularly your Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, that you illegally invoked the Emergencies Act. That's why you received your marching orders, probably from the Prime Minister, if not from the PMO, to publicly state your intentions to appeal. Yes or no?
You're mischaracterizing exactly.
Yes. You're mischaracter. Hold on. I'll let him say it.
What I just said to you in my previous response. I said I was ably assisted by others who were there in the room, and we jointly reviewed the decision.
There you go. So we listened to more of it than I anticipated. But it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile to spend the time to listen to what these people are saying. And I think that Larry Brock is adding a little bit of his own flair here, but I think that he's got the broad strokes correct, right? I think that this Attorney General was brought in, and he was brought in and told under no circumstances are these things to happen. These are red lines or whatever, and he's doing his best to fulfill his expectations from his boss. Senator Batters is responding to this exchange. She says, excellent point. I've been a lawyer for 30 years and a senator for 11. I was stunned at how quickly Trudeau's government ministers announced that they'd appeal this court ruling on the Emergencies Act. All about Justice Minister Virani had time to do in 14 minutes was prep his media talking points. Yeah, unless you have that well prepped in advance. And how can you when the decision hasn't come out, right? You can game it out, but strange, right? Here is Lion Advocacy, and he's responding to the Larry Brock video we just watched. And he says, "This is absolute fire. Within 14 minutes of its release, the federal court decision of Justice Minister on Justin Trudeau's unlawful invocation of the Emergencies Act was going to be appealed. Why? Because the decision was politically humiliating." Yeah, and pointing out that Trudeau was humiliated is good. He still seems very confident. He still seems very strong. And we're going to talk about that later in the show as well, that he is behaving as if everybody doesn't hate him. When that is clearly not the case. Lion Advocacy says to his own thing, the Attorney General's decision to appeal the Emergency Act ruling was based on having divvied up the work. The 191 pages split among 25 lawyers, and they all came together after reading their part. Absurd and makes no sense. He personally should have read the majority of it. Well, and you can't do that. That's not going to function properly, and you couldn't make a decision like that in 14 minutes. You couldn't make a decision like that in 14 minutes. If after reading all of your part, your 25 pages or whatever it is, you come back into the room, it would take more than 14 minutes to disseminate what everybody's learned, right? Like you'd have to do a little presentation on my part, blah, 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 and probably do it in order, right? It would take hours. It would be ridiculous. That's not how you do things. And maybe if you're looking for a specific thing, you're like, okay, I found it, right? And I've got it, guys. Here it is. That's maybe a situation where you divvy it up. And he said, we looked at the whole thing and we made a judgment call basically. And, we knew we were going to appeal it, but I don't think that's how the law works, but I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer, so I could be wrong. And it seems like Larry Brock is a lawyer, and he's very, very skeptical. And so is the senator, very skeptical on how this whole thing went down. And Lion Advocacy, he's a lawyer too. They're all very skeptical on how this whole thing went down. So Virani doesn't seem, it doesn't seem like he is acting in good faith. It seems like he's acting on behalf of an ideologically driven, group. And I think that that's true of all the liberals. So, and a lot of our government as well. Rob says, allowing liberals to define what hate speech is like leaving Garfield in charge of guarding your lasagna. And yeah, that's right. Here's a Toronto Star News article talking about government gone overboard, experts concerned by Ottawa's attempt to rein in hate speech. And yeah, it goes through all of the hate speech stuff and the justification and Virani's kind of contrived excuse for bringing this. We want to protect children from, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really want to protect children. If they wanted to protect children, they wouldn't be encouraging them to mutilate their healthy sex organs, right? And or handing them over to drag queens in libraries. So this Toronto Star article talks about a couple of aspects, but I'm highlighting this one. It says one amendment would create a standalone hate crime offense that could be applied to every offense in the criminal code and all acts of parliament. The offense could come with a maximum penalty of life in prison. Another amendment involves increasing penalties for hate propaganda offenses, in particular extending the maximum penalty for advocating or for promoting genocide from 5 years to life imprisonment. And I mean, when you say promoting genocide, what do they mean? Do they mean there are so many things that are left open to interpretation? And we have a criminal code or a criminal justice system that has seen the Coots guys languish in prison for a long period of time. And I don't want to give them more tools to take innocent people and throw them in jail under bullshit, inflated, contrived charges, right? And that's what they're doing. They're going to try and bankrupt people who say things against the narrative. And then if that doesn't work, they'll throw you in prison because you're engaging in hate speech or something to that effect, right? Life in prison. What'd you do? I shared a meme, right? Oh man, the ferryman. Yeah. Right. It's incredible that this is real life, but this is actually real life. Pastor Hildebrand shares my concerns. He says, make no mistake about it, the Justin Trudeau government is bent on stamping out dissent and Christian voices in Canada. Bill C-63 not only would criminalize future actions, it would criminalize past speech that some bureaucrats deem hateful. Either we have free speech or we don't. And here's just a clip from a news article. It says, since it was published on Monday, some lawyers and constitutional experts have raised fears that Bill C-63 could chill free speech. The bill would allow people to file complaints to the Canadian Human Rights Commission over what they perceive as hate speech online, including, for example, off-color jokes by comedians. People found guilty of posting hate speech could have to pay fines to pay victims up to $20,000. It's actually $70,000, $50,000 to the government and $20,000 to the victim, who is encouraged by the payday of $20,000 to find hate speech online. Like, this can't stand. Honestly, it can't stand. But people, I'm not saying this bill can't get passed because Canada is a sane place and this bill is insane. I'm saying this bill is so egregious and in your face, and what it does is it incentivizes people. Like, you could have an entire job where all you do for an entire year is try and win 3 lawsuits for 60 grand, right? You spend most of your time on welfare or whatever, social assistance, and you go after people online for hate speech. And you get the Human Rights Tribunal to award you $20,000 3 times, and you're living the high life, man. You're making enough money, and all you need to do is be professionally offended online. This bill incentivizes that. And so I think that probably this bill will pass, but I don't think that it'll stand. And I think it will be used inappropriately before it's mothballed. But this is too crazy. It should not pass. But we live in crazy times, and I think it will pass. But I can't imagine this actually like standing up and staying law once challenged, because it will be challenged. But it's going to be expensive, and it's going to be terrible if it gets through. Experts, including law professor Michael Geist, have said even a threat of civil complaint with a lower burden of proof than a court of law and a fine could have a chilling effect on freedom of expression. Right. And they're threatening life in prison. Life in prison for that joke, right? How dare you joke about fried chicken? Herb says a government would not try passing insane bills like Bill C-63 if they were concerned in the least bit about losing support from their supporters, or even that losing support would equate a loss of power. It's evident that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals truly believe they're untouchable. They are certainly quite confident and comfortable despite overwhelming support against them, almost as if they know something we don't, and like they don't think that they will be going anywhere. That's what I mean. They seem very, very comfortable. That's not to say that that's the reality. It's just the optics with how emboldened and fearless they're behaving. At the very least, that should be questionable to everyone. Yeah, you have to wonder why politicians are so focused on silencing people. Off-color jokes are worth $70,000 fines and potentially life in prison if it's a hate crime, right? Is that a terrorism? Is that a hate terrorism? It's crazy. And like, we're in a situation where these crazy people are saying crazy things and you're laughing like they're joking. And then all of a sudden you realize they ain't joking. And it's very concerning because, like, they've got police right behind them and they're about to arrest you. And that's bad, right? Queen Paula, let's talk about Haiti, because hate crime and Haiti, right? Queen Paula says, is our 123 million now in the hands of this gang leader? Is anyone tracking where the money went? I thought it was going to Ukraine via Haiti. Melanie Jolie says, this is 6 days ago. This follows Canada's commitment towards Haiti that I announced last February 23rd to provide $123 million to support the Kenyan-led multinational security mission and other initiatives to support in support to Haiti. That went well. Yikes, right? Ooh. Turn back, run away. New York Post is reporting gang leader named Barbecue is now the most powerful man in Haiti as the U.S. evacuates Americans. So, has anybody seen, there was a clip of Donald Trump being talked to by a Haitian national talking about the Clintons, and he was talking about how Hillary Clinton's a bad person. This was in 2016. And Hillary Clinton's a bad person. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it because it was interesting. Holy smoke, I found it. I didn't think I'd find it. I thought it's a shot in the dark. I'll see. I don't think this is the whole thing, but Trump's just over here. And it was like a 5-minute exchange. There was more than just this, but he was saying the Clintons are bad people. They don't have Haiti's good, like they don't want the best for Haiti or the Haitian people, and they don't want the best for anybody. Really, they're bad. That's what he's saying. Here we go.
In 2010, the earthquake of Haiti, not only American taxpayers, but the whole world has given billions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation for the Haitians. Not even 2% of that money went back to Haiti. So Mr. Trump, we are asking you, begging you, the Haitian community will side with you if one day you ask Hillary Clinton publicly to disclose the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti in 2010 after the earthquake. Haiti is a very poor country. Haiti needs defenders. You said you will champion our cause. We welcome you, sir, and we will work with you. But please, ask publicly Hillary Clinton, during your next debate, to publish the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti.
Actually, it's funny because the one I'm remembering, I thought he was up on stage. Maybe I'm misremembering it, and it was a long exchange. It was a longer exchange. There was a back and forth. Anyway, that's fundamentally history there with Haiti and money just disappearing. This was the video. Dom Lucra was sharing it, and the guy eating the other guy. And man, I was like, nope. Here's disturbing footage of the Haitian cannibal gang eating body parts of one of their victims as he cooks in the fire. The Haitian cannibal gang leader's name is Barbecue, and now the most powerful man in Haiti after the prime minister fled. So there you go. And so what does that all mean, and where did the money go? Like, can we audit for that? Because in 2010, they were given a lot of money too. Where did that money go? And wasn't one of the Fujis a Haitian guy, and he went down to like help in Haiti, and he was at the presidential palace. It was Wycliffe Jean, wasn't it? Isn't Wycliffe Jean Haitian? And he went down there, and then he got kicked out, and he was like, the Clintons are terrible. Everybody who comes out of Haiti is like, no, the Clintons are bad, man. I can't do anything down there because the Clintons are preventing it. I think that's the case. I think that's what happened. Anyway, very interesting. So the Clintons get involved. Lots of money gets laundered through Haiti. 15 years later, are the Clintons still involved? Maybe. Money gets laundered through Haiti, and a guy named Barbecue takes over. Welcome to 2024. Rupa says, what is going on? Chris is sharing this. No comment from Kensington Palace tonight after 3 international picture agencies refused to distribute this morning's photo of Kate and her children. Some of them have claimed the source, the palace, has manipulated the image. So this is from Kensington Palace, the palace of the Duke or the Prince and Princess of Wales, I think. And this is Kate and her kids. And I haven't seen, I think the last time I saw the kids was when one of them was a baby. I'm not a royal watcher. I don't really care about the royals. But I've got the discrepancies, the incongruencies, whatever it is, the problems with the image in just a minute. But here's the readout. It says, this is an AP kill notification. Immediate action needed. Clients, please be advised that the following story has been killed and should no longer be used. Please remove the UK Royals princess image. The reason for the killing of the story. At closer inspection, it appears that the source has manipulated the image. No replacement photo will be sent. Please remove the photo from all platforms, including social, where it may still be visible. If you're receiving this email because the AP is now serving notice of video kills to customers via an operational email. So they send it out. So there's the image again. And here's the problems with the image. Here's the problems with the image. I don't know, the hand is an obvious one because the hand is kind of messed up, but he could have just been doing that. But anyway, all of the hands, this hand is a problem. This hand is a problem, and I don't know why on first glance. This is a problem. Again, I don't know why. This one looks kind of more obvious. I don't know why the mouth is circled here. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know why these windows are a problem. So there's a whole bunch of circles. Is that a problem? That seems weirdly smudged. So that seems like something that's concerning. I don't know about that. oh, maybe that's a little fuzz, but somebody's done some work on this, or somebody's circled a whole bunch of red on this image and gone, look, I'll have fun with these people who don't know what Photoshop like discrepancies look like. It's interesting anyway. And it's interesting that Kensington Palace doesn't want to leave any comment about that at all. Like, well, we were just trying to clean it up, right? And it's interesting in the context of all of the royals have stopped public appearances or anything to that effect. So that's, I mean, just paying attention to it. And I think to myself, that's weird. There's something going on there. There's something strange. And what are we going to know? Not until after it's happened. I mean, it's happening right now. Whatever's happening is happening right now. Brian Lilly is responding to Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is turning out massive crowds, like just huge crowds in Toronto. And Brian Lilly says, this is a political rally on a cold Sunday in Toronto, held by the leader of the opposition where there is no election on. I've watched winning parties struggle to get that many people out to a political rally during an election. And Sarah Fisher is sharing this. So this is the Poilievre rally yesterday. And she says 2,500 Canadians joined Pierre Poilievre in Etobicoke today to rally against Trudeau's April 1st tax hike. So that's interesting, right? The leader of the opposition holding rallies against unpopular taxes and unpopular positions the government is taking. I mean, credit where it's due. That's how you fight these battles, right? That's what Trump is doing as well, right? He's doing rallies. He's doing. I mean, there's always an election on in the United States, right? Like we're almost gearing up for the 28 cycle. Right? I'm shocked in the 2016 cycle and even 2020 to a degree. Everything was about Hillary Clinton becoming the president. 2015 bled into 16. I mean, 2014, they were already soft interviewing Hillary Clinton for what she's going to do when she's president, inevitably, right? And then 2015, it was all like the gloves were off. Hillary Clinton was going to be our next president, 95%, blah, 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 blah. Everybody was talking about it. And it was, you couldn't escape it, right? People were talking about it on television shows. If you watch television shows at the time, they were just talking about how Hillary Clinton is going to be great. And then she got tossed like a side of beef into the van, and you know what happened. But during the 2020 cycle, it was not, the fever pitch was not hit again, right? The media made a mistake, they thought, and they thought their over coverage of Hillary Clinton maybe soured the voters on her. So they didn't want to overexpose their candidate in 2020, right? And so they hid Joe Biden away. And now we're barreling into 24. We're into March, and really the campaign, it doesn't seem like Trump's kind of campaigning. He's got rallies going on. People are going to see him. But I don't know that that's the same fever pitch. And even looking back at Obama too, right? Like Obama had huge rallies, and I mean, not the size of Trump rallies, but there was a lot more going on during those cycles than what's going on now. And I think that they're trying to quarterback sneak, right? I think they're just trying to sneak Biden in, right? Just don't make a big deal out of it. Minimize Trump's thing and sneak Biden back in. Maybe. I mean, what a nightmare, but maybe. Doug Ford is talking about, let's talk about CO2 very quickly before we talk about money and taxes, and then we'll talk about Ramadan. Doug Ford is talking about how the carbon tax is making things really expensive, right? He says it's time for the federal government to wake up and smell the coffee. Instead of raising the carbon tax another 23%, they need to scrap their terrible tax and start helping us keep costs down for hardworking Ontario families. Well, that's good. Why hasn't Doug Ford scrapped the carbon tax on home heating? Hey, Doug Ford, what's up with that? Here's Doug Ford.
I believe the federal government is actually going to hike the gas tax by 23%. Like, what don't you get? I've told them over and over again, the number one issue with people is affordability, affordable homes, affordable groceries, and affordable gas. And what drives up the inflation is energy cost. When you're gouging people at the pumps, they're already taking, 17.5 cents compared to where we reduced it by 10.7 cents. Guys, wake up, smell the coffee. Like, what don't you understand? Cancel this carbon tax, put it on hold, do whatever, and if you don't, the people of Canada are going to annihilate you when the election comes up. Simple as that.
See, I have a hard time, and I think that he's not far off. I think that like the polls and all that, which shouldn't be believed because they're trying to influence people's behavior, et cetera. But all indications that you can see, including people showing up at Poilievre's rally, et cetera, say Canadians are not going to be voting for Justin Trudeau. They're going to be voting for probably Pierre Poilievre. And so his threat seems like a valid threat, like, oh man, you're going to be obliterated in the polls, or you're going to be obliterated in the vote in the next election. But like, he can't promise that, and threatening that is silly. Had he said, if you don't, I will, then that's a threat. That's a threat he can follow through with in the short term. If you don't get rid of this tax, I will, and I'll remove it, and we won't remit it, and you can take us to court to ask for it, and even then I won't remit it, and you can, get blood from a stone, because it's not going to happen. So he could have made a threat, but he didn't, right? He made it incumbent on the voters to not make a liar out of him, which I think it's poor, right? You can't make threats like that, because you can't fulfill that threat. You can't fulfill that, or else, right? It's not responsible, right? Margot. Hello, everyone. Thanks very much for watching. This is just a short version of a longer show. If you'd like to get the whole show, you can go over to CanadaPoly.com and sign up for a subscription. Just look in the drop-down tab for Shop and Donate and look for subscriptions, and you'll get immediate access to the full show. Love to see you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful